Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. Today I will be doing a quick review of 3 launches. Here is what we will cover: market trend, the key question you should ask yourself, 3 common questions for Skye, Zyon Grand and Penrith, supply vs demand, especially for 2-bedroom, which has the easiest exit strategy, side plan overview, 3-bedroom layout comparison, and finally my overall ranking. Why am I sharing this? Because some of my clients ask, should I choose Skye or Zyon Grand, Penrith or Zyon Grand? We had a great discussion and I feel many of you might be thinking the same way too. Buying a property is a big decision and I want to help to give you better clarity and direction so you can make a more confident next move. Let's go! Here's the current market, supply and demand, and that's why it matters whether you are a buyer, seller or investor. In July 2025, Singapore announced that only 80,000 new homes will be built over the next 10 to 15 years, all the way till 2040. But here's the gap: by 2030, we actually need about 148k homes. So is there an undersupply? If you look at the chart, you will notice that since COVID 2019, supply was tight, and that's why pushed prices up. Right now, we need about 24k new homes each year, but the average supply is only 6,789 units annually. And when supply is low, what happens to prices? They go up. On top of that, Singapore populations grew about 120k people in 1 year from 2023 to 2024. In 2025 this year, Singapore has grown about by 1.2% to 6.11 m. What does this mean? Means more demand for housing, and that naturally drives prices up. Let's not forget, data also show a rise in personal disposable income and personal savings. So, even if you think you will save more in the future, property prices may already be ahead of you. It's not your choice when to buy, it's what you are going to get later. It's scarier than what you thought, and this is what we are witnessing now. I want you to see the impact of the loan and how fast the property price can go up vs your income increment. Even with 2% or 3% income growth, the pull-up gap between your property and your loan amount is widened. It's about how you can start early so that you can move forward. As age goes up, loans become lesser and lesser, and the size is getting smaller. Even when you are buying property today, you can start planning ahead. Even if you already bought a property, how should you set your fund moving forward? Look at how much loan you can get. 456 square feet becomes 454 square feet. You can only afford 1 bedroom. Even your income can grow, but the property price has moved faster than what your income can grow. That's the challenge. So why am I sharing this? Because I want you to understand and move forward so that you will not get stuck next time. But at the new launches, Skye preview started from 26 September from 2,598 PSF. Penrith preview on 3 October, same as Faber residents. Penrith prices starting from 2,437 PSF and Faber from 1,995 PSF. That's a super attractive price. Zyon Grand initially scheduled for 17 October, but the developer changed to 8 October. So, developer is also aiming to capture market share, offering quite competitive pricing compared to other launches. Lastly, the same. Based on the recent update, estimated earliest preview may be 25 October or 1st November instead of 17 October. So, if you are interested in any of them, you can scan this QR code, contact me at 666-7261 to receive first-hand update. So, which one might be the best fit for you based on your goals? Before I move on, the most important question to ask yourself is, what is your objective? It's important to know whether your purpose is for homestay or for investment, because for homestay you will focus more on location, lifestyle and schools. Comfort and convenience matter most. But if it's for investment, then the focus should be on rental yield, future exit strategy or capital appreciation. Some buyers can get emotional, which sometimes leads to decisions they might be regret later. There was one interesting question my client asked me: which is better, capital appreciation or exit strategy? Capital appreciation tells you how much your property can potentially grow in value over time. Exit strategy, on the other hand, is about timing, when and how to sell to maximize that gain. To me, both are equally important. You can have a property with strong potential for appreciation, but If you don't plan your exit properly, maybe you hold too long or you sell too early, you might not fully capture the profit. Why I choose these three for comparison, as they are quite similar in terms of their high levels. Two blocks are 40-story, 62-story, and also 40-story. And most importantly, they are near to MRT. Holland Village MRT, Havelock MRT, and Queenstown MRT, less than 5 minutes, especially for who prefer near MRT. The only difference between these three is school. Zyon Grand 1 km to 2 schools such as River Valley Primary School. Penrith is also within 1 km of 7 schools including Queenstown Primary School, a big draw for families. Skye has top schools like Henry Park Primary School but none within 1 km except HCS. But the real question is, how high are the chances of getting into this school also? It all depends on buyers' preference. Some like Skye because of the lifestyle and vibe, while the last two, some emphasize more of the nearby school options. Then Penrith and Zyon Grand are also worth considering. This is not a fully mix for each project, especially to get 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms for clearer comparison. If you know these, most of other projects lean towards 2 bedrooms similar to Skye with 56%. Basically what they are trying to achieve here is affordability for the lifestyle. But here is the interesting part. Zyon Grand actually has more 3 bedrooms, 42%, than 2 bedrooms, 33%. And Penrith also lean heavily on 3 bedrooms. They are clearly targeting families and upgraders, not just investors. Look at the master plan for Skye. 3 sites are subject to detailed planning in red circle and 2 yellow reserve sites. The last block near Holland Village MRT. If you notice in my past videos, the purpose of including the master plan is not just to see what is available today, but to understand any potential site, whether for residential or commercial, that could affect your entry price today and your exit strategy tomorrow. Nearest competitor is OHVR starting 2,800 PSF compared to Skye starting from 2,598 PSF. Skye has a very strong competitive edge over OHVR. Imagine how prices in the LCR and even OCR regions could grow in the future when you have the option to choose CCR, LCR or OCR price. Most common asked question is if OHVR doing badly due to one reason transaction only. One of the 4 reasons is that the SSD has not completed and some has even completed SSD and it takes time to sell. Why is that so? You may check out this video to understand more. Be sure not to miss out. So Zyon Grand, 1 site subject to detailed planning and 2 yellow reserve sites. Nearest competitors within 1 km are Ivy Residence, Riverview and Martin Modern, along with existing sites like 59% permanent paid sold. Also, the upcoming sites for River Modern Parcel B estimated 475 units, which will be an integrated development, and Parcel C estimated 570 units. Looking here, possibly close to 3,000 supply in this area. The key concern is oversupply. Why are developers now focusing on building more family-oriented homes in this prime district? As we are seeing strong residential potential in this area, could it be a problem to exit? And with projects like MRT stations, schools, and lifestyle amenities, does this suggest that demand from families will continue to drive long-term values here? An interesting article caught my attention because the recent launch of River Green 80% sold and 87 of the units were Singaporeans. Why is that so surprising to me? CCR, for example, Orchard Road, River Valley was viewed as an enclave for wealthy or for foreigners. In April 2023, ABSD's rate doubled from 30% to 60%. It applies to all regions, but it was understood that the CCR was the primary target. Thus, this creates a highly specific and targeted effect in the OCR and LCR, especially Singaporeans and PRs, to continue compete with each other for private homes. But today's trend is changing now. If you notice, the availability of new launches became higher in the OCR than in the heartlands. For example, Robertson Onwards and Upper House. Also, in most cases, CCR's new launches tend to have fewer primary schools nearby, but why River Green sold 88% well is because well connected to Great World MRT, new schools, and low quantum at OCR price. Statistics also show that many OCR buyers are upgrading to larger units, indicating aspirational moves into CCR, more attractive to upgraders from heartland districts. Singaporeans and RPRs are no longer just visitors or investors in these districts, but they are also moving in advising families and reshaping what it means to live in the city centre. Lastly, as mentioned, at least 80,000 public private homes planned across central location at Newton and Bukit Timah Tough City. So we can see ULA's plan to change the CCL neighborhood in the way we used to see in the heartlands, especially car leader connectors, access to balance work life and play activities. So CCL not only an exclusive enclave but also as accessible neighborhoods. There are pros and cons. Look at the surroundings for Zyon Grand. The highest average PSF is 3,120, close to similar TOP within the area. This reminds me of Lentor Area because of the 6 plots and another upcoming site, Lentor Gardens. Lentor Modern is also an integrated development and all has sold except Hilo Green and Lentor Area. For more, you can watch this Lentor video to understand more. If I can, I wouldn't choose to stay in Oversupply area, but with so many launches in River Valley this year, how do you think developers are feeling relaxed or stressed to grab market share? If you look at the portion that we have already seen how the various projects at Lentor has been performing, developers will price the units sensibly to sell their units. Permanent peak average 2,970. Could Zyon Grand possibly at a low price or similar average PSF as others? The pros is you could enter starting from a reasonable low price, but the real question is, will it exit easily? Again, what is your objective? If you are planning for investment, for example, long-term capital appreciation to flip, there are 2 key factors to note off. 1. Entry price. 2. Exit plan. Even though it may take time to exit, at least you are entering at a low price compared to others. It's also about how long you can hold to find the right exit timing and how your chosen units differentiate from competitors in terms of orientation, block spacing, privacy, and efficient layout. Personally, I feel this place is more of homestay than an investment. Depends on how you look also, as some like the location there due to integrated connectivity and convenience. Penrith, at least 7 blocks might be subject to detailed planning and 2 yellow reserve sites. One thing to note is that 2 potential sites are so slightly near Queenstown MRT. This could potentially be released as future HDBs, private condos, or even commercial developments like malls. Why is there so much anticipation for this launch? First is the name Queenstown. Queenstown has high volume of $1 million HDB sales. That matters because owners of these HDBs are in the stronger position to upgrade to the next property. Second, look at the number of the TOP. The last one is 2022, 3 years apart. When the estate hasn't seen new developments for years, demand tends to be much stronger compared to estates with regular launches. Naturally, that drives prices up, making this a very attractive opportunity. And finally, location. Surrounded by all 3 essentials, MRT, schools, and amenities, what more could buyers ask for? Also, looking at the nearby resale comparisons for Penrith, we have Margaret Beach, Commonwealth Towers, and Sterling Residence, all of which obtained TOP in recent years. The real question here is, how have these resale projects performed in the market, especially Commonwealth Towers and Sterling Residence are also near Queenstown MRT. Despite the large number of resale units in the area from 2019 to 2025, 3 projects still managed to make profits of at least 20%. Sterling Residence the highest profits of 30%. Is this a reflection of strong demand and perhaps even a sign of growing confidence in this location? Moreover, if you also notice, first owner who entered the market in 2019, they are well protected by the prices as they buy at a low price and their property will automatically be all elevated. The profit and price gap between you as second owner and the first owner turns your opportunity into risk. Will you want to enter as the first owner at a lower BSF in 2019 or second owner who bought at a higher BSF in 2023? Of course, resale still earn profit and resale nearby can sometimes look cheaper. Again, back to your objective. Are you looking from the entry point price of view or future value growth? Let's take a closer look at the supply and demand for 2 bedrooms units TOP up to 2024. Which one feels safer within 1 kilometer of each project? Skye and Penrith each has around 100 plus condo listings, whereas Zyon Grand has a larger pool, 461 listings for 2 bedroom units. Of course, there is some duplication. On the rental side, Zyon Grand also has 295 listings compared to around 400 plus listings for Skye and Penrith. So, which one feels safer? To me, Penrith and Skye are low risk. The lower the supply, the higher the demand, and it's easiest to exit. Even it takes time to sell when the opportunities are still there, which is the easy exit strategy for the future. If you notice, all the three launches, Skye, Zyon Grand, and Penrith, share a similar potential exit strategy, and it's all about how fast you can exit. Their locations along the MRT line position them well to capture demand from million-dollar HDB upgraders, especially families able to unlock capital from offloading their flats. Skye, beyond Gilmore, demand also comes from Dawson Road and Commonwealth. This is similar to Penrith at Queenstown area, which is surrounded by 4 and 5 room million-dollar HDB flats, especially 5-room loft and Skye Terrace transacted at 1.7 M. Queenstown is also projected to see about 4,100 flats reaching MOP, further increase upgrader demand. Zyon Grand, while positioned near the Baru, is potentially benefit from proximity to Queenstown and Clementi. Based on within 2 km to each project, Skye has about 77 potential million-dollar HDB upgraders, while for Penrith is 191 and Zyon Grand is 136. Penrith stands the possibility to exit easier than Zyon Grand and Skye. Every location has competitors. What really matters is reducing risk and choosing a property that fits your goals. Bigger units often give higher potential gains due to lower competition, but it comes down to holding power, how long you are willing to hold the property. Your exit plan depends on how much you want to build or retire with, and also on the area's goal potential. A lot depends on your comfortable price range and ballot number. Sometimes, when it comes to new launches, it was always about which condo chooses you rather than the other way around. A closer look at the surroundings of these three launches. Skye, 2 40-story blocks. Holland Vista BTO also 40 stories. 7-story car park blocks are spaced around 7 to 110 meters apart, giving a comfortable distance for residents. Zyon Grand, 62 stories high. You will see about 30-story and 27-story. Penrith beside Queenstown Primary School, 2 blocks also 40 stories. It's a north-south orientation, 16 meter distance away from the blocks, but one is facing Rainbow Market School 5 story and another facing 25 story high. Each location has its own appeal depending on whether one prefers convenience, city life, or a more homely environment. If you prefer unblocked view, prices might spread even more as each level goes up. As these three are at higher level, it's important to understand how should we choose our unit. Should you go for a high floor or a low floor, inward or outward facing? If you would like me to go through detailed floor plans or pricing strategy, feel free to reach out 866-7261. When it comes to 3-bedroom layouts for homestay, comfort really depends on how practical the space is. Between Skye and OHVR, I will lean towards Skye. It has a proper dry kitchen, no excessive balcony space, and its AC latch isn't counted into the floor area, so you are not paying for unusable space. It also comes with a bomb shelter, doubles up as useful storage. For Penrith vs living residents, Penrith stands out with a wider master bedroom and no wasted balcony space, but the AC latch isn't factored into the floor area. The only drawback is that it doesn't have a bomb shelter, but it has storeroom in the kitchen. Comparing Zyon Grand with Martin Modern, Zyon Grand offers an additional study, more dining space, and a more practical kitchen with a yacht toilet. What is most appealing is that one of the bedrooms is positioned separately on the left side, giving full privacy, useful if you plan to rent out one room instead of having all the bedrooms clustered together. So, if you ask me which layout to choose among these three, my final pick will be Skye, because the moment you walk in, the layout gives you a full privacy and a functional use of space, and it's rare to have dry kitchen for 3 bedrooms. Overall, this is based on my point of view. In terms of location, both Skye and Penrith stand out the most. Schools, families with children, both Penrith and Zyon Grand stand the most because of the nearby school options. Livability, Skye speaks for itself with Holland Village lifestyle compared to Zyon Grand and Penrith. Capital appreciation between Skye and Zyon Grand, I might see Skye as stronger potential because it starts at LCR pricing, which gives more room for growth compared to Zyon Grand. For exit strategy, all All projects have potential, but how fast or slow really depends on the unit you choose as well. Between Skye and Zyon Grand, it also comes down to whether familiarity of the location matters to you or if you are open to exploring less familiar areas. For some buyers, familiarity is a big factor. They prefer being in an area they already know with the amenities, transport and lifestyle they are comfortable with. For others, the priority is more on price point or growth potential. Both approaches are valid. It depends on what feels most important to you. If you have any thoughts, feel free to share and comment below on which project you prefer and why. My name is Crystal and I hope this has been useful in helping you in a quick review of 3 projects. If you would like to have a non-obligatory discussion on these few points, you can reach me at 666-7261. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insights. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.